Well, hello friends. Welcome back to the program. Today we are going to work on PixelPaint and we are going to make some kind of layer layer list widget, because right now we're just using a table view here and that's not very flexible, and I would like to have a custom widget here where we see each layer and we have the ability to move them up and down by dragging them, so to rearrange them in the Z order. And then we could also maybe see like a little preview of what's on each layer so that you can have sort of a visual clue about what each layer is. So, you know, something like Photoshop old screenshot. Please, very old. I don't know. Actually, the new one is it's not too far from what I'm thinking. Something like this, really. Just a preview and the name of the layer, and maybe not just a visibility control, but also maybe some other controls. I don't know. I like the linking feature, the GIMP has, for example. But to start out with, we want to be able to change the visibility of a layer and the opacity of the layer, and then we want to be able to rearrange them. So I don't know if this would make sense as a reusable widget, so we're going to start with a customized thing for the PixelPaint application, and we will call it layer list widget. Fresh and layer list widget. I'm going to put the copyright headers up front this time so I don't forget. Alright, namespace PixelPaint. And what is a layer list widget? It is a libGUI widget. Layer list widget, and it will be final, and it will be a GUI widget and layer list widget. Okay, and let's collapse that. So what is a layer list widget? It has a constructor that will take an image, or I guess we will want to be able to keep this thing lodged in the UI, and then we can tell it, hey, now a new image is active, so we can like switch between different images. Wait, does that make sense? We'll tie it to the image editor. I don't want to get ahead of myself and start worrying about editing multiple images at the same time. Now, obviously, that's a place where we want to go eventually, but I think right now it's a bit premature. So do we have a forwarding header here? No, we don't. All right, that's fine. We'll just forward declare you here. Explicit, and then what does this guy have an API? I guess we don't have to think too much about that maybe right now. We'll just put a little destructor here, and then we'll go and implement a little bit. So that's you. You take an image editor. I guess we also need to include PixelPaint layer list widget. All right. So we want this thing to. What is the best design here? The best design is that it's not tied to the editor, but rather that it's tied to an image. We can do this a little bit future-proofy. So instead of tying it to an image, let's hook him up directly to an image, and then what does image is ref counted. So we can say that you just have a ref footer to image. That's pretty okay. We'll start out with nothing, and then we'll just say set image. That works too, I think. Okay. Oakley dokley. So then we want to, I guess we want to paint this thing. So this thing is going to need a couple of events handlers, paint event, and mouse down event, and mouse move event. Probably some other type of event, mouse up also. Maybe those are enough to get started. And then what are we gonna have in here? We're gonna have a list of the layers represented as rectangular thingies. And I think we're not gonna put subwidgets in here. We'll just, or should we use subwidgets? There are benefits to using subwidgets in that we can just compose this of smaller widgets. But there's also a pleasant flexibility in doing this manually. I think we will do it manually because I think this might turn into something nice and reusable. So we'll see. I don't know exactly what reusable component this becomes, but just the idea of like draggable items feels like potentially reusable concept. So let's go down this rabbit hole of the draggable thingy. And it's much less of a rabbit hole than I've been down on with the HTML spec in the last couple of days. So if you were just tuning in the future, looking back, I just spent 3 days in a row going very deep in implementing an HTML parser. So this is a very necessary break from that to, regain some sanity and do a little bit of regular hacking on the system. So let's do a painter. Paint into this. Painter. And I don't know if we need anything else. I mean, we need to look into the images. So we have an image that we are pointed into. And we'll need to look at the layers individually. So layer. And then when we paint, I guess we can store the draggables in some kind of a little struct layer. What's like, since we're already using the word widget, what's like a smaller, what's a synonym of widget that's like even smaller, like trinket? Gadget? Oh, gadget, I like that. Gizmo. Wow, these words are cool. I I guess I like gadget, even though it's not even on this list. We will call it gadget. So this will be a graphics rect and layer index. And then we'll have a vector of those. I don't know why I'm calling them gadget. Layer gadgets. Oh, it's called gadgets. Yeah. Okay, so for auto gadget and gadgets. Painter, fill around, let's do a draw rect. Gadget, rect. And then we will get the layer. So layer is an image. Layer for index gadget, layer index. I guess, let's see, if and no image. Painter, fill rect, event rect, color white. It's nice and simple. Turn. Otherwise, actually maybe we should fill with button. What am I doing? Palette, button. Alright, so color black. Now that I think about it, we should probably always fill like that. And we can actually clip to it regardless. So add clip rect, event rect. Totally rect. Okay. And I guess we can, what do we want to do? We want to do some little text thingy. So painter, draw text in the gadget rect. Layer name. Yeah. And then we'll do graphics text alignment center. Okay. So how are we going to actually put gadgets in the list? We have to learn about layers being added and removed from the image, I would think. So I was thinking about having a client interface for image. So image client, and it would be something like this. So virtual void did add layer. Or image did add layer. Something like that. Yeah, that's pretty okay. And we can have image did remove layer. We can even give you the index of the new layer. Yeah, that's kind of neat. I guess we can start with those, and then image will have a set of clients. So we'll say a hash table of image clients. Not particularly strongly pointed to. Hash table, all right. And then add client, image client, something like that, and remove client. And so because the client, or anybody who is a client, is going to have to be a good boy and make sure that the image is retained somehow. So in our case, in the layer list widget, this is going to be an image client. Okay. So we'll do that. And then we will implement these two things. So image did add layer and image did remove layer. And then in these functions, let's see what we do here. I guess layer index. So what we do is we insert add layer index, a new gadget. So gadget will be, it was just a rect and the index. So like that. Oh, was the index first maybe? Yes, it was. Okay, that's my bad. Okay, so then when that happens, we'll do an update. Or actually we'll do recompute, relayout gadgets. Yes, that will be good. So that's how we'll set the rectangles for them. And then here we're not going to do that. Instead we'll remove the layer index that was removed. And then we'll relay out our gadgets. Okay. And then what does that do? Relay out gadgets. So we just want to like stack them vertically, right? So let's say that we'll have an int height for these, which will hold on, let me go to Photoshop 5 screenshot. Thank you very much. How did you know that, Google? That's probably something I've looked at before, I hope. Otherwise, that was a frighteningly good guess. Yeah, something like that, right? Very tasteful. Now, let me see. Wait, I just want to measure that. So I'll bring it into. Let's see. I have GIMP over here. Can I have a GIMP window over here. Just want to see how tall this is because it's such a good height. So it is 27 or 20, 30 something pixels tall. Yeah, that's kind of what we're looking for, right? Yeah. So just measuring there. And let me just put that back. Okay. So yeah, something like that. So we'll say 20, 30 pixels. We got space. Gadget height, 30. I don't know why it seemed important to figure that out. And then for auto, gadget, in and gadgets. And then we'll have int y, gadget, rect. So we'll start at x0 at y, 0 at x, 0 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 at y Width is going to be our width. Height is going to be gadget height. And then y will be incremented by the gadget height plus gadget spacing, which I guess we'll just say 1 for now. I don't know what will be perfect, but that seems reasonable. And then after we relay out the gadgets, we will do an update so that we paint. Cool. And then I guess we can void these out for now. Okay, so maybe let's try to build this. You didn't build. What did we forget to include here? Model. Model of all things. Is it because of the... Oh, it's because of the image smart pointer. That's fine. Oh, right. Forgot to instantiate it. We got to do that. So... we have the layer table view right here. So I think we are just gonna... There are so many things going on here with that, but we'll just put them next to each other, I guess, for now. So where do we instantiate this big fellow? Right panel. So there's plenty of vertical space. We can have both. Layer list widget. Layer table view. Layer list widget. Oh, PixelPaint. Oakley dokley. And set image. We don't have the image yet, so we'll do that later when we have the image. Image. All right. That's not terribly fascinating. I mean, it's down here, but it's not doing anything. So we're gonna need to actually call those image client callbacks and have image client be a thing that actually does something. Okay, I got a little bit ahead of myself there with running the code. So image now has add client and remove client. So add client, which will simply set client. All right, and image remove client. Assert m client contains. I guess we can assert that we don't have that client already, because that would be really weird. Client. All right, and then essentially what we want to do when we add a new layer, for example, so layers, we have add layer right here. Then what we want to do is just say for auto client and clients client image did add layer, and we give you the index, which would be m layers size -1. Cool. And I guess we also have a remove layer, don't we? Remove layer. Yes, we do have that. So we'll call did remove layer. Should it be did remove or will remove? I'm not sure. I guess we can say did remove and then an index. This might end up a bad API. I'm not sure yet. We might want to do a will remove layer instead of did remove. I don't know. We're still not registering as a client though. set image. Boom. So if image is already image, then return otherwise. So if image, then image. Remove client. This. And if we are setting new image to an actual image, then add client. This. Yes, there we go. Maybe there's a nice OOP way of doing that, or like an RAII way, but it seems pretty simple. We could probably put this logic in image client actually, but for now this is okay. But we still don't see any of those things. Why don't we see that? I guess probably because we added the layers before we even started. So let's just verify that that's what happened. We do add layer up here, so this will fire the callback, and then the layer list widget is not even aware of the image at that point. But that's not good enough because we have to be able to switch images later, and we can't rely on the layer added notification to do this. So we have to also, I think when we set an image, we have to actually fetch all of the layers and populate the gadgets that way. So we'll just do something like in set image, we will do gadgets clear, and then for auto, for auto layer, and or if we have an image, yes. If image is non-null, then walk the images layers. Okay, we can't do it that easily. There's no iterator, but that's okay. We'll make do. Because we don't actually even care about that. We just care about the layer index. And append a layer index and an empty rect. Oopsie doopsie, there we go. Okay, and then we can relay out the gadgets. Okay, nice progress. Round. So how did we mess up here? The width, is that what's wrong here? Are we not? Hold on. Let's use the inspector to determine what's really going on. So it's supposed to say background because the name of the layer is background. That leads me to believe that we are drawing a rect at 0, 0 and then centering text in it. I don't have grep. Oh, excuse me, princess. Okay, so here is our Paint app. And can we select the widget over here? Oops. It's a little bit hard to see what we're doing. That's this widget, the table view, the layer list widget. Has a sensible relative rect, so I'm guessing that it's just our gadget that is absolutely crap. But why would the width be bad? Oh, wait, hold on. We need to react to the widget being resized, because the widget is tiny when we start out, but then it's resized by the layout system and will have a different size, so we have to react to that. Resize event. Right, so here we just need to relay out the gadgets essentially, and then we can be a very good boy and call our base class. All right, finally, looking awesome. Okay, so it's a little bit of black here in between these two widgets. I think that is because of the container, the right-hand side panel needs to have his background filled. So we'll just set fill with background color true, make it a little bit nicer. All right, yeah, get rid of that ugly missing background. Now, this is pretty cool. We should probably make it so that we have a couple of layers when we start up, just so that we don't have to keep adding them manually. So we'll add a foreground layer. I feel like I had these earlier and I removed them. So we'll add one. Maybe they can be the same size to start with. Red. And what's this one gonna be? Blue? How about we do yellow and blue? Glorious Swedish colors. Let's make them a little bit different shaped actually. Can we move this layer maybe? Fug layer 2, set location. 300 by 300 perhaps. And this guy will just move to 50. Holy moly, what did I press? Okay, so let's try this. Now they're all called background, which was silly, but yeah, we have 3 layers, so that's good. So what do we want to do next? We want to show the little preview. I think that would be a good thing. So how do we show that? Actually, let's just call these FG layer 1 and FG layer 2. Otherwise, it's going to drive me crazy. Okay. So in the paint end, when we draw each gadget, we can do like a little thumbnail, I guess. So a thumbnail rect, which will be at the, let's see where we put this, gadget rect X, rect Y, and then the size will be gadget rect height, but we'll put a custom, actually we can put the height as both the width and the height, and then we can draw the layer bitmap there. So thumbnail rect, layer bitmap rect, and then we want to move the text a little bit. So let's see. Make a text rect, which starts at the thumbnail rect right plus some aesthetic number at the gadget rect Y, and the width can be gadget rect width. We should really subtract the X position, but we'll do that in a moment. Gadget rect height, and then we can do text rect intersect, with the gadget rect to get rid of the overflow on the right-hand side. And then we just draw the text into the text rect instead with center left as our text alignment. Okay, it's a bit closer to what we want, although I think we're going to shrink down the thumbnail rect a little bit because it looks a little goofy there. So we can use thumbnail rect, shrink. So how many pixels? 8 pixels, so that's 4 on each edge. That seems like a fair amount. All right, and that amount of horizontal spacing there is clearly not aesthetic enough, so we'll go with 10. And outside of that, that's pretty cool. So it would be cool if we would update, we would repaint a gadget when it's painted in. So we can do something here like image did update layer. And then I guess the lazy thing to do here would just be say update. Actually, we know this specific gadget rect, so we can actually say update gadgets at the layer index.rect. So we'll only redraw that specific gadget. That's kind of an interesting interface. And of course, I'm building out this this image client interface because I think it's going to be useful in many more things, not just in the layer list widget, but also in various other parts of the application where you can register yourself as a client of the image rather than the image having to know about you and having to tell you specifically about something. You can instead inform interested parties through this abstract client interface. I think that's a very neat, very oopy, but very neat thing. It's a nice design pattern. Okay, so now we got to make sure we call this guy. So how do we find out that we actually painted something? So when we paint, for example, in the bucket tool, we never really tell the image that we painted into the layer. We probably should. It's a bit rude that we don't. You know what? Let's do commits first here. So let's do a commit. Otherwise, we're gonna get too far ahead and it'll be weird. So PixelPaint. Start working on a custom layer list widget. Instead of using a table view to show the layer stack, let's build a new custom widget for this purpose and give it some neat features. This patch also introduces an image client interface for image to notify interested parties about things happening. The layer list widget is the first image client and listens for layer added and layer removed notifications. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Now let's do the update layer guy. So update layer after when we flood fill here, for example, after we paint, we really need to inform somebody that we painted. That should and like should also be what causes the editor to be updated. So maybe layer did paint. Let's see. Let's add a did paint and maybe also a will paint. Although I'm not sure if we need will paint, but let's have did paint. Or notify paint. Did paint. Yeah, did paint is pretty good. So layer did paint. And we don't know the image. Layer should really know which image he belongs to. It's, or should he? I mean, layer has a location, so he could probably have an image as well. It is weird that he doesn't have an image. But I don't want to be able to defer to the image at the same time. Let's do it this way for now. So we'll tell you that we painted into the image. Did paint sounds like we may have just painted it on screen though. Did, let's do modify. Did modify bitmap. Yeah. Okay, and then we can pass in the image like that. Okay, and then we'll do this in all of the tools that paint. So pen tool needs to, wait, where do we draw? We draw here. And we draw here. Yeah, actually we can just replace the editor update calls. All right, and we have the line tool. Layer, and we have editor update here and here. Although in this case we don't actually paint yet. Okay, that's good. And the rectangle tool. We'll probably want to have some nicer pattern for this particular thing eventually, but for now this will work. So did I overshoot here? Yes, we don't modify when we are in line tool on mouse move. We're just updating the line preview. So backtracking here a little bit. Okay. And we have the spray tool. So whenever we're doing paint it, I guess here we can say did modify bitmap. Yeah. I'm probably forgetting some tool. The erase tool. Yes, the erase tool, of course. Okay, that's enough of that. So in layer, we will have layer did modify bitmap. And here we'll call image layer did modify bitmap. And we'll say this. Okay. And then maybe that's enough. Did modify bitmap. Yeah. but we'll need to include image here. Okay, and then image needs a way to notify him, but we'll only let the layer do this. So we'll take a batch for a layer. There we go. Okay, we don't need to mutate any further. And then here, what do we want to do in this function? So the thing we want to do now is figure out what's the index of this layer. So this is a little gross, but layer index is, wait, where do we store the layers? M layers. They're in a non-null ref footer. Oh, but we have index of. Nice. Okay, so then it just becomes a matter of saying for auto client in M clients client image did update layer index of layer. Although we can compute that once in case we have multiple layers. Great. Now we are using modify here, but update here. I don't like that. So let's call this did modify bitmap. This thing should probably be called bitmodify. Oh, but now we are no longer doing an editor update, so let's make sure that happens as well. So the way I wanted to do that was to make the image editor be an image client. So do it this way, and we'll have to inherit from image anyway, so there we go. And then we can just add our little override here. So image did, actually let's say image did update. Image did update. Image did change, let's say. Yes, that's a pretty good name. And we'll put that in the image client. By default, it does nothing. Okay, and then a layer did modify bitmap. Then we will also inform the clients that image did change. So this is not ideal the way that this is being done here. Maybe we should have a did change. Yeah, that's a bit nicer because then we can call that whenever something changes. I don't know. We'll figure out how these things work, but I kind of like the mechanism. So now we should be able to just update the image editor when this happens. Image editor, image to change, update. Oh, hello. Okay, so let's try to paint into one of these guys. Look at that. They update. That's very nice. What if we use the spray tool to spray? That's awesome. Ooh, even the background. He's kind of zoomed out, or say you have to draw a lot if you want to see it. But that's really cool. So let's commit. PixelPaint. Layers and images. Send out notifications on changes. We use this to automatically update the thumbnail in layer list widget when you draw into an image, into a layer. We also use it to repaint an image editor when the image changes somehow. Alright, nice. So, what do we do next? I guess we can do some little button to turn on and off layers. That would be cool. So. I guess we can just have a checkbox. I was thinking, wait, do I want to do that? Let's do the rearranging, because that's the really interesting part. Layer list widget. So let's see. So if you click down on one of these things, let's bring them up so we can look. I'm thinking if you click down here and you drag down, then how would it be like? It would sort of become detached if you start dragging on it. And then you can drop it somewhere. Maybe it becomes detached and then it leaves a hole in the gadgets list, and then wherever you're dragging over, we make a hole there, and then if you let it go, we sort of let it slot into the nearest hole. I think that would make sense. So let's try it. So if you do a mouse down, I guess we should figure out which gadget you're clicking on. So for that we will do, we'll make a helper. Let's call it gadget. Gadget at const graphics position. All right, and that will actually be a layer list widget gadget. And then here we'll say auto gadget is gadget at event position. Yes, and then this here is just a matter of iterating the list of gadgets and checking if gadget rect contains the position, return gadget. Otherwise, return null if you click outside the gadgets. Null potter. And let's just go and add that here. Oh, that should be override. Sorry about that. Okay. And then if you are not clicking on a gadget, well, if you're not doing that, we can just return. Okay. So, and if the event button is not the GUI mouse button left, well, I do not care one bit. Okay. And we'll do the same on mouse up. Okay, so now we can call this like M moving gadget maybe. Is gadget. So this is the gadget that we're moving right now. Now we have to be smart here, because if something happens, if we get one of these notifications while this is going on, then we gotta drop this on the floor. So if that happens for whatever reason, we'll just drop it. We don't want any of that business. Okay, and then, you know what? It's just a bad idea to store a pointer to that thing in the first place. Let's use an index instead. Moving gadget index is gadget. Is gadget index. So wait, how do we give you the index instead? We'll give you an optional size T. It'll be better for everybody. Okay. And gadgets at I, return I, otherwise return empty optional, and boom. Oops, let's go and change the API. Okay, gadget index. If no value, okay, moving gadget index is gadget index. And then this is what we'll do if we add or remove a layer. Okay. Now, what are we going to do with this? Well, we're going to store it somewhere for one thing. Okay, and then maybe we will paint him a little bit differently, so we'll update. And we should also remember where we got this mouse event. So moving or event origin, we'll store that. Graphics point. Moving event origin. All right. And then when we mouse up, moving gadget index is that. If we didn't have a moving gadget going on, then there's nothing here to do, so we'll just let it go right away. Okay. And I think if we're moving a gadget, we can draw him in a slightly different color, maybe. So we'll say we can still fill with black, but we can do like painter, fill rect, gadget rect, cool, palette. Oh, not the hover highlight. What's a good one? We'll just do a shadowy look for now. If m oh, we can store that on the gadget actually. If gadget is moving. Ooh, is moving. Okay, let's see if moving gadget index has value. Let's just fix this up here. Gadgets and moving gadgets value is moving is false. Oh. It's a little grungy, but it's okay. So we'll update, and then when we move, let's see what it looks like now that we just do that. Update and gadgets, moving gadget index value is moving is false. Auto gadget is mGadgets at moving gadget index. Value of gadgets is moving. It's true. Okay. Oh, forgot to paren there. I just want to see if we're getting the right sort of visual feeling here. I guess that sort of works. We'll do something differently later, but it's a little bit strange. But let's see what happens if we drag it. So let's see. If moving gadget index has value, so if there is no value, we can ignore mouse moves. But if we have one, then the delta is the event position minus the moving event origin. And then we can say that the gadget, we have to find our gadget also. So gadgets at the moving gadget index value. We'll store this here, I guess. Gadget movement delta is delta, and then we'll do an update. And this will be a point. Okay, and then if a gadget is moving, then we can draw him at a different offset. So let's factor this into a helper. So paint gadget, auto gadget, like that. Then we'll say paint gadget. If gadget is moving, so we'll paint all the non-moving gadgets first, is what I'm thinking. And then if moving gadget index has value, then we will paint him last. Okay, so that will allow us to always show him like above everybody else. But we don't have to change anything else about this logic. What did I forget? Oh, this thing needs default value? Wait, why? That shouldn't be necessary. Alright, well, I guess we have to put some things here anyway. Can we just do that? Okay. Okay, what did we not do correctly now? Mouse move event. The movement delta is the delta. So let's log that we are setting the delta. And just see what it looks like. Oh wait, we're not applying the delta to anything. So we should really say like gadget rect is gadget rect. And then wherever we say gadget rect, I guess we can call it the adjusted rect. And then we'll do this. this, and we're good. And if the gadget is moving, then the adjusted rect move by gadget movement delta. Okay, so now I can drag it to my heart's content. It snaps a little weirdly sometimes. We can probably fix that. Mouse down event. We should reset the movement delta, obviously. Gadget movement delta is nada. Okay, so then we don't need to log that. And here we can assert gadget is moving. And I'm thinking we don't need you to be able to move it in the X, like horizontally. There's no need for that. We only want vertical movement. So we'll do X0 and only move you by the Y. So let's see how that looks. That's pretty cool. Okay, and then finally we want these rects to sort of snap around, so that when we repaint, then they snap. This would cause it to snap up, so that I can drop it here, right? So how do we do that? I guess we can just, when we mouse move, we can relay out every time, actually. Relay out gadgets, how does that work? You just recompute the rect. Okay, so yeah, let's do it in relay out gadgets when we mouse move. So instead of calling update, we'll do relay out, which will trigger an update. And then down here, if we are moving, so let's see, if we're moving and the moving gadget is closest to this particular gadget that we're about to lay out, we'll move it down one step. Okay, so if moving gadget index has value, so we're moving some gadget, and I guess the moving gadget. Let's figure this out earlier. Gadget. If m moving gadget index has value, then moving gadget is m gadgets at. Okay, so if moving gadget, and then what we want to know here is where is the, I guess, the center of the moving gadget effective rectangle with the movement delta applied. So center Y of moving gadget is moving gadget rect translated by 0, comma, the moving gadget movement delta Y center dot Y. Okay. And then if the center Y of the moving gadget is, wait, how do we do this? If it's greater than the are equal to the current y. Oh, coordinate math. Dang it. Then, what is the thing that we want to do? I guess we want to move one extra like this. So I'm just going to test this out to get a feel for it and see. Because if I have a feel for it, then it's probably easier to work out what the math should be. Ooh. Okay, that's definitely not how that should work. There's something happening. So, oh yeah, right, because this will be true more than once. Let's see. Has made whole false. Okay, so this will be our little thing. Has made whole for moving gadget. If there's a moving gadget and we haven't made a hole, then we make a hole here. Okay, that's not at all what we want. So what is the thing that we want? We want when the center of this guy that I'm dragging, I guess maybe it's easier to compute where the hole should be by just dividing by the if we just figure out what the hole index should be, this would be easier. So instead of doing it this way, this is goofy. Index, and then we'll just say if index is whole index, then add one extra. This looks a little weird, but okay. Okay, and then the whole index. If whole index has a value and index is whole index value. Okay, and then optional size t. Okay, and then the whole index is. Oh, I guess we can compute this thing. Vertical step is gadget height plus gadget spacing. And we can just add vertical step here. Makes this a little less awkward. Okay. And then whole index is the. Oh, I needed that center Y calculation. Dang it. Where is it? Here. Then the whole index is the center Y of moving gadget divided by vertical step. This doesn't feel right. Oh, wait, I guess. That's annoying because we're changing the. changing the rect of the thing that we're dragging. So hold on, let me just log whole index. Whole index. I guess value, okay. And then, so how do we do this? I guess we can have a temporary rect that we, okay, maybe we should add a helper here. It is moving gadget. And this will just return moving gadget index has value. Okay. And then we'll have a temporary rect. Or like a preview rect. Or temporary rect during move. So if we're moving a gadget, then we will set gadget temporary rect during move. Else we'll set the regular rect. Okay, and then mouse move. That's probably a much better way of doing this. I'm just a little blind right now. So when we move, we are just setting up the delta. That's fine. But I guess up here we should use the is moving gadget. If we're moving some gadget, then the adjusted rect is the gadget temporary rect during move, else the adjusted rect is the gadget rect. This is becoming really convoluted. I don't like this code at all right now. Did I add even more stuff to the gadget? Temporary, right? Okay, so let's see if the whole index is computed nicely. So 1 makes sense here, 0 makes sense up here, 2 makes sense here, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. Yeah. So if the whole index is 1, then number 1 should move, so we're not moving at the right time. We're moving too late. Okay, so we'll move one step earlier. This is not doing what I wanted. Why does this seem so difficult today? Hole should be 0 here, and it is. But if hole is 1, then everything else should be moved up 1 step. So why is that not happening? I guess we need to be skipping over the moving gadget. It's moving gadget. So if we are on the this is what we should have been doing instead of making the temporary gadget. We should have said if gadget is moving, then continue. So we don't want him to take up his normal space. Yeah, that's more like it. Okay, it's really awkward, but maybe that was not misguided. No, that was definitely misguided. Okay, but why is it still so weird? So what's going on here? Hole index 2, hole index 0, but the background is still there. We should really be doing the space first. Here. Yes, like this. This is what we want. It's awesome. Okay, so this is exactly what I mean, by the way, with like that I need to get a feel for it so I can understand what the logic mistake I'm making is. Playing with it is so helpful. Now there's definitely some weird little painting glitch that happens sometimes. I'm not exactly sure what it is. I'm sure we'll figure it out. Like that one right there. What the heck was that? I guess we are painting with some very wrong rect at some point. So let's get rid of the temporary rect concept. And just update the rects like normal. And we don't need to do any of that junk. You need to relay out properly. Dang it. Mouse up event. We need to do a relay out after we do a mouse up. Otherwise, things are not in the right place anymore. Click, click, click. This is so cool. Okay, so now we just gotta make it actually switch to where we're putting it. And then we will have our thing. So I guess this is in mouse up. So what we gotta do now is compute. I guess we just compute the whole index actually. So can we give that a nicer name maybe? Here we can say is moving gadget. And the moving gadget is this. I'm just gonna tidy this up a tiny bit here. Okay, and then we would have the whole index, which is size t, layer list widget, whole index during move. Which we compute this way. see, wait, how do we say this in a nicer way? Hold index during move. Let's put these somewhere. Bam, 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 bam. Wait, I don't want to put them here. What am I doing? They don't need to be members. They can just be right here. Oops. Oopsie doopsie doopsie. Assert is moving gadget. All right. Is moving gadget and. Or no, we can do it the other way. It's a little up and down today, a little flaily, but I think we're making forward progress here. So whole index is whole index during move. If is moving gadget. Okay. Great. That's good. And then we can call this guy in mouse up. Then we'll say that the gadget that we're moving, we're actually gonna move him to a different place. So gadgets insert at the whole index. Gadgets. Can we take him? Moving gadgets. There we go. That didn't go so well. Whole index during move. Crashing in vector. Oh, I guess because I was doing the take thing here. Okay, hold on. Let's do this nicely. We'll take the gadget out of the thing. So take the gadget at that index. Say set moving is false, and then we insert him at his new location. Why don't you like that? Whole index during move. Mouse up event. I'm sure I'm missing something here, and I'm sure, I mean, I guess it's this thing right here, but why is that being upset at me? Moving index is moving gadget index value. And the vector size is, what is it exactly? Just tell me. Just tell me. Click. Vector size 3, 3, 2, 2. Why are you calling it after I remove it from the thing? Gadgets, take. I'm doing an insert. Okay, I'm confused. Before take size is... Here comes the fun part of writing all your own containers, is that you're never quite sure if you can trust them. I mean, I kind of trust them, but, you know. Then relay. Maybe I should have done that a little differently. I just want to see what the output gives us. Poof. Before take, 3. After take, 2. Moving index. Oh shit, wait, am I calling whole in? Okay, well that was obvious. I'm calling freaking whole index during move. I need to compute that first. Whole index. Nothing wrong with the container, just me being a dumbass. Click, click. Oh, dude, that's so cool. Okay, so that's awesome. Now we just need to actually switch the layer order in the image as well. So what should the API be for that? We want to tell the image basically to reorganize sublayers. Mouse up event. So here we want to say what is the thing that we want to say here? I guess we want to tell the image. And also, if we don't have an image, by the way, if we have no image, we should have no business doing any of this. So we should ignore if we don't have an image. Okay. So, image. What do we have here? Add layer, yeah, remove layer. Set layer, change layer index, and then we give him the moving gadget index. Yeah, give him the new index. That'll be good. Okay, and then in the image class, we have move layer down, move layer up, and so on. So change layer index. And how will that work? What image? Change layer index. I should have given those some names here. Okay, so then the old index and the new index will assert that they are both valid, so otherwise that would be very bad. Okay, so the first layer is, we just take it out of the thing, I guess. Take old index. And then M layers, insert new index. Wait, so what happens now? If we take out index 0 and insert it at 1. I'm just thinking because everything shifts. So if you have these layers and then you take out, say you take out this one, then, or let's add some more here. So say that we're taking, the old is 1 and the new is 2. Then what happens is you take out this one and you want it to be here. But when you've taken this one out, then this guy is now here. So then it looks like this, and the 2 insertion point is here. So I guess that's okay. Maybe I'm making some stupid mistake here, we'll see. Oh, actually, we should do something like tell the clients. Image did change. Image did change layer order. That's pretty good, because then call it did modify layer order. Oh, and we don't need the size T there. So I was thinking that then we can listen for that in the layer list widget. So here we'll listen for that. And we can do a rebuild gadgets, I think, and that's what we'll do when we first set an image as well. So we'll do rebuild gadgets, which will comprise this entire operation. So it will be a full rebuild and relayout. Cool. So now we'll do that in response to that happening, and we should probably react to this in the image editor as well. Or should this be considered a generic image change as well? Probably, actually. Or image CPP did modify layer order, but in fact we should be doing a did change. Whenever we're doing any of these things, they should be did change, because the effective image is now going to look different, possibly. So we'll do did change. Did change layer order. Wait, how do we do this? Did change. Still working out how this whole thing should be, like, idiomatically speaking, but I feel like this is kind of reasonable. Did modify layer order can imply did change. That would be okay. And this is what that would do. So did modify layer order. Maybe we should just call this did modify, or no, that doesn't exist yet. Did modify layer order, we'll call it did modify layer stack. And then we'll do a did change as well. Okay, that's going to be pretty good. Because then here we can just say did modify layer stack. So sending out a lot of notifications, but that'll be pretty good. So really, in the mouse up event, we shouldn't even be futzing with the gadgets anymore. We should just let the rebuild happen in response. And then this should do a did modify layer stack. Oops. Dang it. Wait, so what did I even do there? Assert the gadget is moving. Okay, so this thing we definitely messed things up here. So let's speak out loud what we're doing. Change layer index, old index, new index, and then for auto, layer and layers. So this is the before. And then we'll do the after. Just to see what kind of shenanigans we actually do here. Oh, and then everything goes boop. Okay, so wait, hold on, let's try this again. We're moving the 0th to slot 1. So 0 moves to 1. That's good. Layer stack is good. Before and after, exactly the way we want it to look. But we are falling apart on 154 mouse move event. Oh shit, because I no longer reset the moving gadget index. Of course. But yeah, so it's nicer that we let the image drive this update. Of course, now this looks goofy. Oh, because the callback happens synchronously in response to this, at which point we think that we are still moving, so we have to change that. So we'll do old index and new index instead. Value. Okay. That's pretty cool. And what happens if we grab the move tool, put this guy here? This doesn't change anything. All right. Oh, wait, did it change? Just that we didn't update. Ooh, crash. New index should be less than layers size. Well, how did we manage to mess this up? Change layer index. Change layer index. We should probably log everything. Yeah, there we go. Then we'll assert afterwards. Oh, right. We can have a bad hole index. So if new index is less than 0, which it can't be because it's a size t, but if it's greater than or equal to an image layer count, then new index is image layer count minus 1. All right, that'll do that, but we also have to repaint the image editor when this happens. So what was the notification we would send? Call this change layer index, call did modify layer stack, which will call the change, which will send image did change. Image editor will pick this up and update himself, which I would think would cause it to repaint the image. So what do we got here? Click. So, oh, it just doesn't repaint. It just needs a little bit of touching. But that's so weird. Why doesn't it update? So, image editor, paint. This is where we paint the whole thing. Change layer index. Wait a minute. Image editor, he never registers as a client. That's why it doesn't happen. Ugh, I'm stupid. Okay, so we gotta do the dance here as well. So if image, remove client this. Okay, now it should be good. Okay, finally. That's really nice. Okay, so change layer index. Get rid of all this debugging gunk. There we go. PixelPaint. Allow reordering layers using layer list widget. Dragging them in. This is rather cool. Okay. Maybe we can just get rid of the... Or wait, no, we're still missing some functionality here. I guess we should have a selected concept of a selected layer in the layer list widget. So selected layer. Wait, how do we use this in main anyway? We have the table view who has on selection change. We do some selection business to move the selection up and down, stuff like that. Okay. Well, you know what? I'm just gonna not do that today. I think we did enough today to be happy, and leave a little for the future instead. Because I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. So this will just be the end of the video. So if you made it this far, then I thank you for hanging out. And it was nice to have a little break from the HTML spec. And I hope you saw something interesting here too. I quite like working on this application just because I've learned so much about how to use the GUI frameworks and stuff in Serenity since I first started building this app, and like to come back to it now and start to build it better. It's really nice. And we're learning a lot more about the GUI framework as we develop stuff. So interesting. Anyways, thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you next time. Bye.